Welcome back to Just Scribble. Just like many of you probably have been, I have been binging a lot of YouTube videos on planner setups and people's lineups for the year, just because no matter what planner they use, whether they use disc bound or book bound or rings or strings, I always find inspiration and ideas from their videos, and I just really like to see how people use their planners. And in some of those videos, and then also on Instagram, I kept seeing some matte Croco covers from Gillio, and I was really drawn to them. I'm not actually a huge fan of Gillio covers. I rented actually, I have a video or two videos on it, I think, a Gillio in the past that was undyed, and I was not impressed with the quality of the leather of their undyed. It just didn't seem like their cover was as high quality, that the leather was as high quality as other covers that I own or other covers that I have seen from friends in the planner community. But I was still really drawn to the matte Croco, and because the Croco leather isn't a veg tanned leather that's going to change over time, and because of the colors that it comes in and then also the texture that's embossed on it, it didn't bother me, or it wouldn't bother me as much that it didn't feel as high-end or as quality leather. It would be more like buying something from Coach or Louis Vuitton, where I didn't expect the leather to feel the same as a full grain veg tanned leather. And I was really drawn to the matte in a couple of colors, in the vintage gray, in the blush, in the charcoal, and every time I saw them, I thought they were so pretty. But the price tag is definitely expensive, and I really didn't know if I wanted to spend that much money to buy one from Gillio. But then I found one on sale, previously loved, and the price was really good, and I decided to snag it, and I wanted to share with you guys. Now, I really didn't need another cover, but I was so drawn to these. I kept looking for photos of them. I really was drawn to the matte finish, and so I decided to take a chance and snag it at a good price. I figured if I didn't love it, I could sell it. And it came, and I moved in, and I really do like it. Now, I wouldn't say that I like this as much as I like my VDS cover that I have on my A5 work planner, or that I have in my passport. I really love the VDS Janet leather. I love how it feels. I love how the veg tan leather changes, but I really am enjoying this as well. Okay, sorry, the phone rang and it was my husband. He's out of town. And now I have lost my thought, because that's what happens. What was I saying? Do have a Croc from Moterm. Actually, I don't know if I've sold it or if I still have it, but I had a Croc from Moterm, and I have one from 7 Felicity. One was a 5 size and one was B6 plus size that fits the Leuchtturm B6 plus, and I really like those. One is yellow and one is pink, but from a tactile perspective, I much prefer the matte. It feels much more luxe. It feels a little bit more upscale. It's just really nice to hold. It molds around the notebooks better than the shiny ones that I've had from Moterm and 7 Felicity, so it feels better. It does not feel like the Janet leather from VDS. It does not feel like a Chic Sparrow, but it does feel really nice. And for the price, I'm really happy that I was able to get this. Now, I do know that VDS does have matte Croco, and I did think for a brief moment about ordering something from them instead, because I do really love their layout, and I also really love the leathers that I have and the samples that I have from them. However, the VDS would be significantly more expensive than what I paid for this Gillio, and it would actually probably have been significantly more expensive than if I had bought this from Gillio directly, because for VDS, I would have had to have gotten it size adjusted to be able to use my clear covers. And so one good thing about the Gillio is that I didn't have to do that. Now, I am planning on ordering a VDS B6 cover this year, because I'm really loving my passport in A5s. So I have actually been making notes on the VDS cover that I'm going to order, but that will be in the Janet leather. But I just wanted to share this with you guys. I obviously do not think that you need to go out and buy a Gillio. They are expensive, even at the price that I got. This is, in my opinion, an overpriced planner, but I did have the money to spend on it, and it makes me happy and it brings me joy, and I'm really loving this. I am liking this better than the veg tanned Moterm that I had on it. I did like my veg tan Moterm, but I like the VDS Janet leather so much more that when I would hold my B6 and then I would have my A5 next to it, I would wish that I had a VDS instead of the Moterm. So I am enjoying this more because it's not really competing with any of my other covers. It's just something fun and special and different, and I don't feel like I have to be super, super careful with it. I don't know, it's kind of hard to explain, but I'm really, really liking it. So I wanted to share it with you guys and give you guys some of my thoughts and tell you guys why I bought it. So the first thing I wanted to do was just show you the color. I did see this vintage gray. That's the color that this one is. I did see this in a lot of the posts and videos that I was drawn to. This and the blush were the two I was most drawn to. I think the charcoal is really pretty as well, but it's really dark. This and the blush I know I could use all year round and it would make me happy. And because it was a little lighter in color, it just kind of would bring some brightness to my life. It wouldn't be so kind of heavy and dark. So those are the two colors I was most drawn to. But I kind of liked the vintage gray the most just because it was very neutral and I wasn't sure if I would get tired of the blush. But also this one was a really good price. There was a blush one for sale as well, but it wasn't a big savings. And so it was hard for me to convince myself to buy it. If this hadn't been such a good price, I probably wouldn't have snagged this either. I would have just looked at them and lusted after them from afar and been perfectly fine with what I had. But this is, I'm going to open it up and lay it flat so you guys can see it. This is the vintage gray, and I really like this cover. So it is a sort of taupey color, but then it has these sort of grayish purple tones that run through it, and I like the dimension that that adds. I like that it has a little bit of color variety. I also think that that will help mask any dirt or anything that gets on it. And I do like the way that the pattern runs, like that it's more spread out here and then tight pebbles and then spread out in the spine and then tight pebbles over here. The couple of things that I do not like personally is I do wish the strap was longer and there was two poppers, because it is a little bit tight with my half-year sterling ink and my half-year Stalogy. Two of those combined are a little chunky, but they're not hugely chunky. So I think if you're a person that uses a full-year Stalogy or a full-year sterling ink or something of similar size, it would probably work at the beginning of the year, but as you added to it and they got puffy and chunky and fluffed out, I think it would be really hard to snap. So I do wish that the snap closure had two poppers and was a little bit longer so that you could kind of grow with your planner as it gets chunky. So that is one thing that I'm not necessarily super in love with, but it does fit and it should work perfectly fine for me on these covers until I order a custom VDS, and that one will have two poppers and it will be made perfectly to fit these planners and it will be like absolute perfection. The other things that I don't necessarily care for, let me take my planners out. Actually, that might help so you guys can really see. So this is my sterling ink, which is my EDC. And this is my half-year Stalogy, which is my wellness. Now they are a tight fit, but they do fit with the clear covers. And the person I bought this from had already cut off the little hangy things, the little bookmarks, page markers. I don't like those. I would have cut them off as well. So that was perfectly fine with me. So I am not a fan of this pen loop. Pens don't really fit in here very well, but also because of how it's stitched so far in and the way it lays, it bumps up to my planner too close. So even if I stick my pen in, stick it on the clip like that, it's rubbing up against my planner. But also because the strap isn't very long and there's not a lot of extra space, then it's a little bit difficult to snap it closed. I just don't think that the pen loop lays very well. I think that because they have it stitched like so far in, it doesn't really allow for your pen to lay right next to your planners. I think that it should be farther over to the edge so that way it doesn't bump up into your planners, because when your planner is in here, it's like back behind your planner, if that makes sense. And it's not a very big pen loop. VDS's pen loops, the way that they come, are also very small, but they do allow you to pay to enlarge your pen loops, which is what I did on my VDS's. And one of the reasons why I will ultimately get a custom VDS in B6, because I can get a bigger pen loop and I can also get one on both sides, because I do like having two pen loops. I am indifferent on the secretarial pocket. I don't really like secretarial pockets very much, but this one is fine. Like the way that it lays very, very flat, and it looks nice where it's at. And I do have some stickers from Sterling Ink like stuck back behind there, and that's fine. I don't use the little zipper pockets in planners really. I don't use these as my wallet, so I don't really know that they have a whole lot of value. I guess if I was carrying around some like tabs or paper clips or something, I could stick those in there, but otherwise this won't really get used. But I appreciate that it's kind of flat and flush, so that part's nice. It just has one slip back here and one slip back here. I do think it's weird that this looks right here. This looks like this would be another opening so that you could stick your planner here, and then you could stick stickers or ephemera back here, but it's actually stitched down, and I think that that's a strange design personally. I don't know why you would make this edge here. You could have just widened it, and then different sizes of cards or planner cards or washi cutting cards would have fit better in here. So you would have had more pocket options or more options to fill your pockets if this just went all the way across. Like, I don't know what the point of making it shorter is if you can't actually get back there. There is a pocket over here. It's kind of short or not very deep. So these are from Randy Dot Plans, and they fit back there and they're hidden. But if I take, let's see, I have, where was it? These. I have this sheet from Mandy Lynn Plans, and if I stick that back there, it doesn't stay hidden. It sticks out, so I can't put those sticker sheets back there. So it's very, very narrow. Not necessarily a big deal. It would be perfect for cash actually, but it's not like a space that's super usable, but it does hold these stickers, so it works out fine. One of the things that I'm not a fan of Gillio for is the lining that's inside all of their pockets. It feels very fake and plasticky, and I'm just not a fan. In the VDS, they do have a like faux leather lining that they use, but you can actually get it reversed so that the like felty kind of side is what you touch. And that's what I had done on my back pocket in my passport, because I was going to put cash there. It looks prettier to me. It looks nicer and more lush, even though it's still just a piece of like faux leather or plastic, but it's looks nicer than this kind of shiny fake plasticky stuff, and things don't stick to it. So I'm not a huge fan of that. I'm not a huge back pocket person. I have one in my passport because I use it for cash, but in my A5 I didn't get one. I'd be unlikely that I would get one in my B6 either, but I am using this because it's there. So I do have some stickers back there. I have some stickers from Allie Brown. I have some holiday stickers from According to Allie, and then I have some Sterling Ink stickers. So I just stuck those there so that they're available to me when I need them. But I won't put very much back there because it does chunk up your cover, and then it makes it even harder to close. I will say that this one actually it lays pretty flat. It doesn't like move around, and so it lays flat, and so I'm glad at that, because a lot of times when there's a big back pocket, it doesn't lay flat. But this one, it opens and lays flat, which I like. And then over here, I do have this like planner card here, but it just has these vertical pockets. I like this little baby pocket because you can put something cute and fun. I have this from Happy Daya. It's like a January sticker for the month of January, but I liked that it said 2023, and I think it's cute, so I'm just going to leave it there kind of all year round, or as long as I'm using this planner cover. And then I have a magnetic pin here. I have some stencils in here, and actually I have another video on stencils, so these are going to change. But I have this orange stencil. It has some shapes and some letters and numbers and things. I don't use that one very often. I just didn't want to lose it, so I stuck it there. And then I have a set of stencils. You have a video coming on those as well. I stuck those in there so I would have them. I have a little card in here that just says blessed beyond measure, and that's really just to hold this card. And then this is the stencil that I use most often. This is from Hobonichi, and I really only use it for the check boxes in my planner. Occasionally I use these two, but I pretty much just use it for check boxes or drawing straight lines. So that's what that's for. But like I said, I have another video coming on stencils, and so those will be changing. So I have stencils there. The pocket configuration is fine. I don't use my pockets all that much, mostly for function, like to hold stencils or stickers. And the way that I use my planners, because I have one on this side and one on this side, I rarely ever see those pockets. Once I put my planners in, let me put my sterling ink back in real quick. If I just carried my sterling ink, then you'd be able to see them. But I put my wellness planner over on this side, and so it lays like that. So when I'm using this planner, and then when I'm over here and I'm using this planner, all I see is this planner. So it's rare that I even see what's over here unless I'm grabbing a stencil or grabbing a sticker. So for me, I'm kind of indifferent about that. I'm gonna get my wellness planner back in there real quick. It's a little harder to get in, but they lay like that. And then when I close it, they lay nicely together. And like I said, it snaps closed nicely. It just doesn't have a lot of room to grow. So that's definitely something I think that it's important to know. But I do like that they fit with the clear covers without any sort of customization. And I really like that it lays flat. But mostly what I love about this cover is I love this matte Croco. I like the way it looks. I think it's just really pretty, but I really like how it feels. Like, I like how it feels to hold my planners, and I like how it feels when I rub against that matte Croco. So I just wanted to share that with you guys. This is my first Gillio to purchase. Like I said, I'm not a huge Gillio fan. I don't think I would purchase multiple of them, and I don't think I would purchase any of them at retail price. I think if I happened upon one that was at a really good price and it was in a color or print that I really liked, I might snag one. But it definitely wouldn't be something that I'd be buying a lot of or going crazy about. And definitely it isn't something that you need to have your planner. You don't need any cover for your planner. I like to have covers for my planners personally. It's funny because I like carrying my sterling ink planner without a cover, just in its clear cover. Like, it feels really nice to hold. The same thing with my Stalogy. I really do like that. But because I do work in an office and I carry these with me every single day and I toss them in and out of my tote bags all the time, I really need some sort of cover that keeps them protected and safe, keeps them closed, and holds them together. And I like having them both together in one because I touch my EDC all the time, multiple times a day, and having my wellness with it just means that I use my wellness planner or journal. I have a video on my wellness planner, journal, bullet journal, whatever you want to call it. It means that I touch it more often, which is important so that wellness can be a focus. But I just wanted to do a little video to show this to you guys so that you guys could see the color really nicely. You guys could check it out. It's going to be in posts that I share on Instagram, and I didn't want anybody to be like, hey, where did you get that cover? What cover is that? This way you'll know what it is and you can see it and you know my thoughts and all of the things. But definitely, like I said, I will be ordering a custom VDS, and when that comes, I don't know whether or not I'll choose to keep this or if I'll destash this at that time. But until I get a custom VDS, this is the cover that I do plan on using for my everyday carry for my planner. At least that's the plan right now. So you'll probably be seeing it quite a bit. So I just wanted to share with you guys. Don't hesitate to comment below if you have any questions or comments or thoughts or anything on this cover, on this planner, on my setup. I'll be happy to chat with you about that or get back with you on any questions that you have. If you like this share of my Gillio, give me a thumbs up. Make sure that you're subscribed and you hit that notification bell so that you don't miss future videos. And don't forget to just scribble.